Here are 12 cleaning habits that have transformed my home and made it easier to keep my home tidy most of the time. I really try to tidy throughout my day, clean up as I go. This helps me to break up any large cleaning projects because then I'm just picking up after we leave an area and I'm trying to clean as I see needed instead of having to save all those projects for a specific day of cleaning. Another benefit of this is when we go to look for something, we know where we will find it. If we've put all the Lego back in the Lego box, we know, hey, if we go into your room, that's where it's going to be. If we're looking for a jacket, if we've put it back where it goes on the hanger, then it's easier to find. So that's another benefit of tidying as I go through the day. And it just also cuts down on that huge lump of things to do at the end of the day to get us reset for the next morning when we're going to school and going to work. I like to set the tone of how my day is going to go by making my bed every single morning. This might be right after I wake up, or on the weekends, it's sometimes after we have breakfast, but it's as simple as throwing the covers back up on our bed. I decluttered all of our throw pillows, so all we have is the 2 pillows that we sleep with and the 2 pillows that we have extra to prop ourselves up with, and that is it. It has been so simple since getting rid of all the extra pillows and extra little decorative blankets, and it takes 2 seconds to make my bed each morning, and I feel great, and I feel like it sets the whole tone of how my day is going to go by being productive right away from the beginning. This is a habit I haven't heard a lot of people mention. Maybe I just haven't looked this topic up a whole ton, but I love to clean when I feel the motivation to clean. And I know that sounds kind of funny because who gets motivated to clean? But sometimes there'll just be this feeling that I get when I'm in my home and I think, hey, you know what? I really want to reset everything and get our home super clean and organized and tidy. And when I get that feeling, I think it is great to just lean into it, and I will clean as many things that I can think of and go as fast as I can while that motivation is going, because to be honest, I am not motivated to clean all that often, and that's why I like to have these habits built into my everyday life and have it as something that I do regularly, because there are very rarely times when I feel like I want to clean my entire house and have the motivation for that. Putting things away right after we're done using them is a habit that we are continually working on in our house, and that goes for me, my boys, my husband. But when we do get into a really good rhythm of trying to put stuff away as soon as we're done with it, it makes such a difference, because then we don't have to come back later to pick up all the toys and to sort through everything. We can just know exactly where it is because we've put it away when we're done using the item or the toy. And I've found that this really helps to keep our house look tidy throughout the day. This seems super obvious, but wiping down surfaces as soon as possible, especially in the kitchen. And whenever I don't do this, I always think, man, I wish I had just wiped this down right after it spilled, especially when I'm cooking, because once something has dried onto the counter, it is so much harder to scrape off, or I have to let some hot water sit on it. It just takes a lot longer. So the habit of just wiping things down as soon as we are done using whatever it is, if it's the kitchen, the bathroom, whatever the surface is, wiping it down as soon as possible just really saves a lot of time in the long run, and it saves me from having to do a ton of scrubbing, as you can see I'm doing here. And that's just one of those habits that, again, I try to use whenever I think about it. I just think, let's just take that extra second, do a little bit of dusting or wiping while I see the problem area and get it done, instead of waiting and having to have a bigger chore on my hands later in the afternoon or night. 5 years ago, we decided to become more minimal, and I went on a journey of decluttering every single room, closet, and area of my life. And I still do regular decluttering sessions throughout the year. Each month, I gather all the things that I find cluttering up our lives that we're no longer using, and I donate them or I get rid of them. But one of the biggest things that I learned along the way with clutter is clutter attracts more clutter, and it is really true in all of my experiences. So I try to keep all of the flat surfaces in our home as clear and clutter-free as possible, because on our dining table, for instance, when there is a box of toys or some stuff left out, next thing you know, everyone's setting everything onto our table, and then when we go to eat, our table is full of clutter, and then we have to take that time at that moment to clear it all off. So throughout the day, I try to keep all of the flat surfaces in our home clutter-free and clear, and it just makes it so much easier when we go to do something. I know there are a lot of different laundry hacks out there in the world, and that's not what I'm going to be sharing with you today. My laundry habit is to do the laundry till it is complete. And what I mean by this is if I'm going to do one load, I want to make sure that I have enough time in the day to get my laundry through the washer, through the dryer, or hang what I need to hang. And then if it's been through the dryer, I want to make sure that I can get the laundry out of the dryer and folded and put into the drawer or hung up. By the end of that day, I try to avoid having the clean laundry sitting there in piles all around my house, because then it can add to confusion of what's clean, what's dirty, what's been washed. So that is something that I try to avoid by doing it to completion. I used to do laundry every single day, so I would do a load a day, which I think is great. It did work for me, but then I got sick of doing laundry every single day of my life, 7 days a week or 5 days a week. And so I decided to try out doing as much laundry as I could in one day when I didn't have as much going on other than being at home and doing home stuff. So I could have the laundry going in the background as maybe I was baking or doing some other fun stuff that I wanted to do. And even if I'm home on the weekends and we're doing stuff coming and going, I can fit that laundry into my day. The other benefit I found by doing this is we are forced to go through all of our clothes and wear every single thing that we have, or most of what we have. Then by the time we do the laundry again, then we're reset. So this helps us to figure out what we really like to wear and what we no longer need, because by the time you need to do laundry, you either have to wear it or do the laundry. I was unsure what to even name this habit, but what I do is I keep all of the bathroom cleaning supplies in each bathroom. So a spray cleaning solution and some toilet cleaner and a toilet brush. And how I clean my bathrooms is I do a kind of swish and swipe, I guess they call it. When I'm in the bathroom and I can see that the counters are looking a little dirty and the toilet's looking funky, I will just clean it in that moment that I'm sitting in the bathroom and I notice that it needs to be done. I really try to avoid those big bathroom cleaning days by keeping up on this, and then it really helps when I do need to clean the entire bathroom. Throughout the day, I like to reset our main living areas, and this isn't something that needs to be done every single day. There are days when our home is just tidy and stays that way, but then there are other days where things are left out, pillows are fallen down, blankets have fallen onto the ground, there's cups left out and that sort of thing. So on those days, that is when I will just quickly grab those items, rinse some dishes, and just reset those main living areas. Vacuuming often has been a great cleaning habit for me, and this just helps me to cut down on even more extensive cleaning in the future, because as things spill, if I vacuum them up right away, then I'm not having to wash our carpets and things are not getting tracked further into our home. So I try to stick to the high traffic areas. I find myself vacuuming obviously when something spills immediately, so that way it doesn't get tracked around. But also vacuuming about every other day or so really helps cut down on the longer term cleaning that I end up having to do eventually, but it just keeps our carpets cleaner. It also helps to keep more dust out of the air and debris. And we have been doing tons of home projects. So the more vacuuming I'm doing, the better it is for our health to not have all that dust in the air. I keep my vacuum in a really accessible place. So it's super easy to just open the closet door. The vacuum's right there, right in front of the door, pull it out and go over those high traffic areas. Something that has been actually hard for me to make into a habit is straightening up and resetting the kitchen or putting everything away in the kitchen at the end of every night. And it's hard because by the time nighttime rolls around and we've done everything we need to do in the day, I think we're just tired. I think everybody can relate to that. You're tired no matter what you do. By the end of the day, you just want to say, I'm done. But I have forced myself to get into the habit of tidying everything, especially the areas that I know I will need to use in the morning. So especially the kitchen and the front area where we're going to be getting ready to leave in the morning, the lunch boxes, getting the backpacks hung up, just straightening everything up, putting away the things that we are not going to need in the morning and getting it all set up. And it feels so good to wake up in the morning and not have a whole sink full of dishes or have a whole bunch of stuff that we're tripping over and trying to find where's my backpack and where's my lunchbox, and just have everything put in its place. And I've forced myself into doing this habit. And whenever I don't do it, I think, man, I wish I had taken the extra 20 minutes the night before just to put everything in its place and straighten up and get ready for that next morning. After decluttering everything that we no longer used or needed, the next habit that I formed was getting our home organized for us in a way that works for us. So our home may not look picture perfect. It won't be making any news on the Instagram feed, and we probably won't win for the best Pinterest picture, but our home is organized in a way that makes sense for our lives. And I feel that's what everyone should do, is instead of organizing your home to look nice, it should function properly. So if you have to use mismatched containers, you have to use what you have, I think that's fine. I try to always use what I have, reuse what I've already bought in the past in different areas, and that saves money and keeps us organized, and it still looks nice, but maybe it's just not the latest, greatest thing. If I need to add hooks to make our lives function better, I do. Even if it may cause it to look a little more cluttered, it doesn't matter to me, because what matters is that it is organized for our family and functioning in a way that works for our lives and makes it better for us.